Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and I'm bringing you this game as part of the Intel Extreme Masters being played for Gamescom 2010 over in Cologne, Germany. This is a live Starcraft 2 tournament, and the players today are WhiteRa, better known as WhiteRa. He was loaned to Duckload to play in individual tournaments, and here he is as WhiteRa. He is the red Protoss up here on the top of Metalopolis, and his opponent today is Liquid TLO, better known as the Little One. And this is the first game of their best of three in group play. I already know the results, but I actually have not seen these games, and I'm basically just casting them all for anyone who didn't get a chance to see them cast live. Some of the games I'm casting actually were not cast at all by ESL TV, so this will be the first time for a lot of us seeing those games. But Liquid TLO getting his very normal start, getting that supply depot right next to his mineral line. WhiteRa, very normal pylon first, since really there's not many other options except for gas first or Nexus first, but scouting already. Getting this probe down here to the left position, not going to find anything. It looks like if he follows the normal path, he will just take a stop at this watchtower and eventually find TLO down here at the bottom. TLO not going to be scouting just yet, building a barracks at his ramp instead. So WhiteRa will be the first one to discover his opponent. Both these players, of course, have played each other many, many times, very recently in some show matches, and TLO actually has been getting the better of WhiteRa recently in those show matches, but I think WhiteRa actually has the better record overall between these two players. WhiteRa does hail from the Ukraine, and the Little One is a German player, so he probably feels right at home there in Cologne, Germany. So not much else going on. The probe of WhiteRa actually does get into the mineral line and gets a peek around at the most standard Terran build order in the world. So if WhiteRa wasn't expecting this, then he knows better too now, because TLO's a big fan of the standard Terran build. He's probably relieved though, because it means that the Little One is not using this opportunity to try and cheese WhiteRa. In live tournaments like this, players will actually debut new strategies very often so that they can catch their opponents by surprise. So WhiteRa actually might be relieved to see that orbital command come at a very normal time. And TLO does arrive finally over in WhiteRa's base. He's going to be able to check out everything himself. He has not seen the Cybernetics core just yet, but if he does his normal sweep, he will see it. There you go. You did see that blue cursor over the Cybernetics core. So both players actually probably relieved that these builds seem very, very normal, and they can continue doing their very normal strategies. And a pylon coming down here, it's great for spotting incoming attacks if they happen to come through this avenue, and it's also good for warping in units a little more quickly in that situation where you might need that. And a second assimilator coming down actually for WhiteRa, kind of quickly, not really. Basically, this just gives him a few more options, lets him access a robo facility and a Stargate a little more quickly. And WhiteRa, we know, loves Void Rays. They've been called White Rays in the past, or Void Raws. And a Tech Lab coming up for that original barracks of Liquid TLO. He's going to be getting a Marauder very quickly, but not the concussive shells just yet. Instead, he's going to be spending his gas and minerals on a factory, a second refinery, and a supply depot. Looks like he is going to be getting a Hellion very quickly again. So TLO just kind of backing off now after seeing what he wanted to see. Probes all over the place for WhiteRa, building a pylon back here in the smoke. Might be trying to hide some tech there eventually, but right now nothing really strange here. One gate into a robo. Like I said, that second gas lets him access that a little bit quicker. I'm not sure what he's fearing actually to want to get that robotics facility so quickly. Maybe just wants that observer so that he can be, very safe and know exactly what TLO is doing. But WhiteRa right now just cranking out one unit at a time out of this gateway. Warp gate research is almost done. He is tacking on two more gateways now, one nearly about halfway and one just starting. So he will be up to 3-gate robo. He does want that observer quickly, it seems. But Starport rather, coming in for Liquid TLO after getting just a couple of Hellions and actually supply blocking himself. So this next Hellion and whatever bio unit he builds next will be a little bit delayed. He actually does use the supply drop just to get that Hellion out a little quicker. Starport now flipping over onto this tech lab, so might be building some Banshees here in the near future. He's trying to sneak in with a Hellion here to see what he can see, and he did spot 3 gateways and a robotics facility. don't think he saw that Nexus go down or that pylon, so that could still be a little bit of a surprise to him, but I don't think he'll be too shocked to discover it in the near future. What is going on here? Hellion checking for proxy pylons and things like that. He does discover a probe of WhiteRa. Wow, so a little bit lucky there. That could have come back later in the game to actually bite him in the butt. But Raven coming out very quickly for TLO. Probably wants to find any observers that might be on the loose for WhiteRa. WhiteRa actually... Did he get an observer? Yes, he did. Where is that little guy? I'm not sure where he ended up with the observer. Is he already in his base? How about this? Oh, here it is, right here over as natural. Not sure what it's doing there, but okay. And 3 Hellions now coming in, trying to do some damage. It's going to take him a long time to kill this Stalker. The Stalker up on the cliff, actually getting some free shots as well. TLO really needs to get out of there. Yes, he does save his Hellion in the red. More units warping in for WhiteRa just to maintain control of that little avenue, that little highway there. And looks like TLO building a Banshee after getting that first Raven out. He is not researching Cloak. Does have several Hellions. Probably going to be repairing those up here. Yes, a couple of SCVs latch on there, start repairing that up. But what is coming out of... He has 2 starports now on Tech Labs, cranking Banshees out of both of them. Getting normal bio units, just Marines. Cheap little throwaway 50 mineral dump there. And could actually even be building more Hellions. He does have the minerals right now to spare. And TLO actually... Looks like he landed his barracks kind of away from this reactor, so reactor not doing him any good right there. Oh, did he just lift off again? Yeah, there he goes. He adjusts his mistake. You know, maybe it could be nerves playing in these live tournaments. Oh, and if you check this out, he actually has 4 SCVs on gas too. See how that SCV has to sit there and wait? And you can actually see 3 at a time. Yeah, he's got 4 SCVs on gas and missed his reactors. So TLO actually showing some nerves for the first time I think I've ever seen him show nerves. And he's now actually moving out with quite a few Marines, Marauders, Hellions, a nice Raven here to block some Stalker shots against these Banshees. WhiteRa doesn't have very much anti-air at all, just a few Stalkers and a Sentry to try and take out... Oh no, he just warped in a bunch of Sentries here for some force fields. But TLO has arrived. This Immortal gets a free shot off on that Hellion, but TLO's Hellion micro is very good. 2 Banshees now showing up, the Raven now showing up, and the rest of the Bio Army scooting into position. They don't have any of their upgrades yet. No concussive shells, no stim pack. So point defense drone rather goes down very quickly. Gets killed by those Stalkers. Didn't really help him out too much, but the Stalkers really could have just moved forward and avoided that completely. But these Banshees being microed extremely well. This Banshee in the red now. TLO not losing much of anything except for those Hellions. He still has several bio units alive. These Banshees have nothing really to contend with them. He takes out the Immortal, takes out a couple Zealots. There's only 1 Zealot left here. Gonna go down very quickly. So TLO gets a huge exchange there just with some nice Banshee micro. And, having reinforcements arrive during the fight certainly helps. WhiteRa does not really have anything to combat this right now. He's trying to warp in units as fast as he can. He chrono boosts all his warp gates, gets in some Stalkers, but 3 Banshees and more are going to be supporting him here in the near future. More bio units showing up from TLO all the time. So WhiteRa trying to keep as many Stalkers as he can alive to combat these Banshees. TLO actually drops an auto turret here to help those ground forces stay alive. Another Banshee shows up for TLO, so that puts him up to 4 Banshees. Needs to go ahead and get that into the fight, but that Nexus does go down for WhiteRa. TLO actually has not even tried to expand this whole game. He's still building a command center in his main, if you look at the production tab. But look at all these Stalkers of WhiteRa. May or may not be enough against these Banshees, because the Banshees can actually just float away and come back as they need to, and all these Marines on the ground with support are going to be able to block the Stalkers from really chasing any Banshees. So this huge force, all these Banshees and Marines putting out tons of damage against the very few Stalkers that WhiteRa has. WhiteRa's money is piling up now, but he does not have enough production structures to keep up with this assault, and WhiteRa does GG. So excellent game by TLO, well played by both guys, but TLO had a very good unit combination there and some nice micro to keep those Banshees alive.